İngedendir.
Hare Krishna. We'll start. नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी इति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवास आदि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे हरे राम राम राम हरे हरे. We'll start from where we paused yesterday. uh, Sorry for the late.
And now 37 years later, speaking, boy, if only 30 years would do it. No, he was not, in the course of explaining that exchange with Prabhupada, he wasn't analyzing, did Prabhupada literally mean what he said, 30 years, or what was he doing, what was the intent behind his speaking in that way. He didn't go there. But it's not, at least he could understand Prabhupada was encouraging him, don't think because my heart is not melting, I'm this bad person. Rather, continue to practice in a very attentive, very careful way over time, and the purification will become effective like that. Prabhupada also taught, if you can chant one name of Krishna in each mantra, there's 16. 16 times you have the chance. Times 108 times 16 comes out to 25,000 chances every day that you chant 16 rounds. And one name was chanted without offense, your life would be perfect. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Keep trying, however long it takes. Something? Anyone? Yes, another.
We were speaking about detachment and giving up the spirit of enjoyment. Does it come just by continuing the process of hearing, because it's so deep rooted, we decide to enjoy?
Yes. Not exactly automatic, but yes. Not automatic in the sense of mechanical, but automatic. It along with one comes the other. When you have one, you have the other. When you have attentive chanting, there's detachment. Prabhupada paraphrases, Bhakti parishanu vavo viraktiranyatra chasa, you know the verse, but for those that don't, he says that when one is eating, a symptom of eating is that hunger goes away, and a weakened body that may have been weakened by fasting, strength comes back to the body, and one feels full. So that sense of feeling full is the sense of satisfaction that comes from hearing with attention and detachment from other things. It's a symptom, like the symptom of a hungry man that eats. The symptom of, so where's the appetite? The eagerness to hear. When there's eagerness to hear, then one hears with attention. And the symptom of that is detachment from other things follows. However deep-rooted, tendencies that are materially conditioned slacken. So we can make effort on both sides. That is, eagerly try to hear and systematically try to dismiss things that are extraneous. We don't really need them. Or we recognize they're not good, they're detrimental. We should do without them. And the strength to do that comes from hearing. Say it the other way. If we don't have the strength to do so, we can understand we're not hearing properly. This hridaya dorbalyam, I know what I should do, I don't do it. What's that? There isn't strength of conviction behind. So that's, a type of anartha. Bhaktivinoda Thakur describes in Harinam Chintamani. Something that we have to overcome. Anartha nritti, overcome by striving to chant, hear and chant carefully, attentively. Then strength will come. Then not only the theoretical, I know what I should do. The strength is there, I do it. So, shortcomings or weakness of mind, weakness of conviction, it's overcome. Strength comes instead from hearing, proper hearing and chanting. And as we just heard the previous question, the eagerness to serve. The medium of service, it also gives us strength, nurtured by hearing. Anything else? You all don't know me, so you're intimidated. You have something?
When the hearing becomes strong, the tendency to discriminate between material energy and spiritual energy also grows.
Yes.
But sometimes there is a strong tendency to rationalize facts instead of arguing on the basis of scriptural arguments.
Right.
How to overcome it? Is rationalizing good, or should we just take the shelter of scriptural?
Well, there's your voice is very soft. Did you hear his question? You did. You're sitting right next to him. Did you hear his question? Sairate, you heard? Kind of. See if you can say it back.
Should I repeat?
Yes. Just turned up the volume. Amplifier.
As we hear, our ability to discriminate between material and spiritual energy increases. It grows gradually.
You got it.
But at some point, I feel like I tend to rationalize things rather than arguing on the basis of scriptural.
Is that rationalize things within yourself or to others?
It's both actually.
Okay. Let's start with to oneself.
Yeah. So, how to clearly identify, is it good to do this? Or,
Good to rationalize things?
Yeah. Or we should just take the shelter of scriptural principles?
Well, can you give an example? Because I can think of some. Here's a scriptural example where Mother Jasoda used her rational faculties to decide how to serve Krishna. Twice, actually, in the Damodar Leela. She was feeding Krishna, and the milk on the stove was boiling over. So she had to decide, let the milk boil over, that's okay, I'm feeding Krishna, because Krishna is all important. Or put Krishna down and go rescue the milk. So what did she do? She considered. This is what our acharyas say. She called upon her faculty of reason. She used her rational faculty and thought, the milk boils over, it's spoiled. I can come back and feed Krishna. I'll save the milk first. And our acharyas describe, even on the platform of spontaneous devotion, like Mother Jasoda, what to speak of regulative devotion like ourselves. There are sometimes conflicting things that may appear to be required simultaneously, and it is the duty of one to consider priority. Do one to its completion and then the next. And the ability to do so comes from the prompting from the Lord in the heart, inspiration from the Lord in the heart. But there's prompting, but still, where does it say in the scripture? Should I save the milk or should I continue breastfeeding Krishna? You're not going to find a scriptural statement that answers that one. So you have to draw upon your faculty of reason. But it's not, so it's in the service to Krishna, which is most appropriate, not what I want, but in service to Krishna, what's appropriate. Then again, after she came back, she saw the butter pot broken. She used her rational faculty. Krishna did this. He became she didn't see it. Krishna didn't confess it. She just deduced. She used her faculty of reason. Besides, she saw the little footprints of Krishna with butter going across the floor. That was further confirmation. Evidence. She deduced Krishna did it. So in service to Krishna, we may use our God-given gift called the mind and contemplate within the mind how to, what's in this particular circumstance, which is most appropriate. Now, when applicable, we should consider that which we are contemplating in the light of the Scripture. In other words, is this in violation of some code of religion? Or have I received some instruction to the contrary? Should I become catatonic and I can't act unless Scripture tells me to? Action may be required. And further examples. But what's specifically being cautioned against is to speculate about the nature of the absolute truth. Does that help? Does that address the question you're asking?
Yes.
Anything else? Okay. Thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki. All right. Okay, here's one of your favorites. Srimad Bhagavatam.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, this one is done.
Can we pause here? We'll continue again tomorrow and a new lecture.
Yes, Prabhu, yes.
And I just raised my hand, Prabhu, because I have to leave, but I have something to say. So shall I tell that and then I have to go to work today now? Is it okay?
Yes, Prabhu.
Couple of things. Today's class, Maharaj, when he was speaking to somebody in the audience, said he seems to be intimidated by me, and he just laughed. And then he went to somebody. Maharaj went to somebody else who was asking a question, and one of the person, and he also named one Mataji there. If you had caught the name of it, he asked her about does she have anything, etc. What I'm going to speak is somewhat related on these lines. So sometimes we feel like here is Maharaj, who's such an elevated person, or any other devotee also, that we feel intimidated by them. It is not that the other person is intimidating us, but we feel intimidated by them. And uh, but as we hear like Maharaj's voice today in the lecture too, he's just open to us uh, wanting to express ourselves to him, and he too wants to express himself to us. There is one aspect of any saintly person, that is that they are very focused, they are serious, they are stern, but that does not mean that they are intimidating. Just to elaborate this very same point, yesterday, um, for the yatra work, I had to make some PowerPoints and just completed one PowerPoint, and I sent it to Maharaj. And when I sent it to Maharaj, uh, I, I usually append some notes like, okay, these are some things that's happening in this slide, etc. And these are some markers which indicates there are some notes here. Please review the notes. Basically, something like just to do stuff. These are not the heartfelt, heartful stuff. Because I just keep it to the bare minimum because Maharaj is busy with many other things, and I just try to convey the information and come out of it. Maharaj saw all of that, and I also mentioned there are some pictures which are not so good. I'm going to do that the second time later after all the PPTs are done. We will retouch those images. Please give me time. Can't do everything right away. He said that's fine, but it has to be done. And then a very a related but not so directly related to, he made a statement. I'm sure this service of making the PPTs is invigorating for you. So this is how like such a saintly person uh, comes to the stage of relating to those whom he is with. Just one liner, nothing more. When his heart is so happy in his own sadhana that when he sees a little effort done by somebody, he says, "Oh, he saw the full PPT and he felt that it's that my service is being invigorating for me, and I wrote a response to that too." So that's what I wanted to highlight here when he spoke about that. Uh, he's approachable. Saintly persons like him are very, very approachable. It is just that we need to note those small gestures by such saintly persons. It may not fit our view of what approachability is, but these small gestures, small sentences help us to know the depth of feelings in their heart. And we are used to showing the depth of feelings in different ways, like like in movies they show the hero and the heroine, they jump up, and you need a background music for it, and then you have to dance in the rain for it, etc. It may not be that kind. Their happiness may not be shown that way, but small gestures, sometimes it's just like a nod on the head, a gleam in the eye, a smile on the face, or a sentence like what I said. These are some of the small gestures. And this is connected to the other part, like he was mentioning the name of a devotee. Many years or a few years after this lecture was in 2007, a few years after this lecture was spoken, here you find Maharaj was speaking very nicely to the devotee. That devotee felt that, okay, I don't want to do much with Maharaj. And that devotee left the company of Maharaj and they are staying somewhere far away. So one can receive these gestures and yet one may not feel it. And that is sometimes our own unfortunate situation. So when we read books, when we hear these lectures, we have to absorb these kind of gestures from very saintly persons like Maharaj. That's it, Prabhu, from my side. And I'm sorry I have to leave now. I'll leave now, Prabhu. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, bro. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Uh, Hare Krishna. Anybody would like to add comment on the class today?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, there.
Hare
Devotee.
Krishna.
Just one or two things, Prabhu, which I noted. Maharaj nicely explained to us the eagerness to hear and attention to chant. So one main point which to pick up for today would be Maharaj mentioned strength comes from proper hearing and chanting, as well as the eagerness to serve. So this is something which I'll try to practice. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you so much. Yes, Chanikesha, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. From today's lecture, I like very much on this. Every day, when we chant 16 rounds, and if we chant without any offense one name, that would be perfect. Something like that Maharaj mentioned. I like that very much, Prabhu. We need to practice that at least. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu. Yeah, he mentioned about 16 name, and there are like total 25,000 chances that we have to do attentive chanting. And thank you so much, Prabhu. Anybody else?
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Krishna Prabhu, yes.
Yeah, Maharaj was giving the example of Mother Yashoda. And when he was talking about Mother Yashoda, so the pastimes of milk is boiling, and this is the very favorite pastimes. And Maharaj would always say that she used her rational faculty. So here Maharaj was mentioning that when we practice Krishna consciousness, though he did not mention here, but many times, particularly on this lila, he would say that we do not turn off our intelligence. And so we take a practical steps. And here today he was mentioning that even at the level of spontaneous love from Mother Yashoda, she used her intelligence faculty. And what to talk about we are on the sadhana level. So he said we. So as usual, Maharaj being very grounded and humble, he said that he included we, including him himself, but we know that he's a very exalted personality, but he was using that. So in service to Krishna, we can use God-given faculty. And again, the giving gratitude to Lord and using that faculty. So that is the mood that Maharaj was exhibiting. We should be in line with our scripture and instruction that we received from Guru Sadhu Shastra. So it does not mean that using that faculty outside of our boundary of triangle of Guru Sadhu and Shastra. So Maharaj was highlighting that particular point of that intelligence must be used, even though sometimes there could be priority between this service and that service, and this mind or intelligence given by God we can utilize in the service to Krishna and keeping in the boundary of Guru Sadhu Shastra. Thank you, bro.
Thank you so much, Guru. Uh, mm. Anybody else would like to add comment? If nothing is there, can we stop here today, Prabhu?
Yeah, maybe possible. Yes, bro. Or if Vivek Prabhu has summary, generally he does that. If you want to summarize, if he has already, if he has not done, otherwise we can pause, bro.
We'll meet tomorrow then.
Okay.
Thanks, Prabhu. Prabhu, you nicely summarized, Prabhu. Yugal Kishore, Prabhu. Thank you. You've given a nice this one. So broadly, that's it, Prabhu. One is eagerness part to hear and chant. The other thing is, as you nicely mentioned with the example of Yashoda Mai, about how if there are conflicting things, or although that was is there, you have to do. Maharaj nicely mentioned, do one to its completion and then the next. And then thank you, Prabhu, for sharing Maharaj's realizations on how he included himself also in the sadhana platform rather than on the exalted platform. That's it, Prabhu. Broadly, everything is covered, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you. वंशकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। अनंत कोटि वैष्णववृंद की जय।
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
हरे कृष्ण।
Dear Prabhu, Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.